let's get into some X factors.
Fuck yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
we're gonna do the same thing as we've been doing the last couple weeks, except we're gonna do both offense and defense for each team since it's the Super Bowl edition. So yeah, we're gonna talk about a player for each team on both their offensive and defensive sides who are going to be essentially the X factors. They're going to be the keys to success. They need to play well for either the Chiefs or the 49ers to win the Super Bowl here. So, kicking us off, Cameron.
So on offense, I have Debo Samuel. And I mean, call me basic, call me whatever you want. I almost went with McCaffrey. That's a little bit more basic. But look, I mean, I picked the offensive line last week. I mean, they kind of made, in the second half, they made Aiden Hutchinson invisible, as as they did the entire Lions defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, the reason why I'm picking Debo is they need to be able to move the ball down the field. I have no doubt in my mind that Christian McCaffrey is going to get his, but the Niners rely on explosive plays.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chiefs are one of the best defenses against explosive plays. I mean, clearly, like you're going to need some separation, and I think you look to Debo to do that. Obviously, Ayuk's going to have stuff open up, but we see what happens when Debo's invisible and it's just Ayuk out there. It's not much. So that's who I have on offense for the Niners.
Yeah. You took my pick, brother. I went with Debo as well. And I went because of his effect on the rest of the offense. And part of it is because, to your point, the Chiefs are really good at stopping explosive plays. They're going to need him because he opens up downfield for Brandon Ayuk. In general, Brandon Ayuk usually plays a lot better when Debo is also playing well because Debo does a lot of like the under routes. And obviously he gets, a lot of the screens, does some rushes as well. So he clears it up for Christian McCaffrey on bubble screens, and he also clears it up for downfield with Brandon Ayuk. So I went with Debo as well. Colin, who
Nice. Yeah, no, I've got a guy that complements both of yours. Great.
Perfect.
Because he's the guy handing him the ball. So I chose Brock Purdy. I truly do believe if God, I say this every week. I phrase it the same way. I truly do believe. Anyway, Brock Purdy. I don't know if you guys saw the interview after where him and Nick Bosa were kind of jawing back and forth, and Nick Bosa is like, "Did you think I was the second overall pick in the draft?" And I don't know if I have the confidence that you have. Like, I don't know if I have the talent that you have. Like, I doubted myself. How did you know that you were going to be this good? He's like, honestly, bro, I could be better. Like, and if he keeps that mentality going into the next game, I think. I want to see Kansas City blown out so goddamn bad. I just want Brock Purdy to make some explosive, unexpected plays, and he has the weapons to do it between McCaffrey and Ayuk and Samuel, to your guys' points. So yeah, he's my X factor for San Francisco's offense.
That's awesome.
This week.
Colin, who you got for defense of the Chiefs?
For the Chiefs, to Cameron's earlier point about how the Chiefs can shut down explosive plays, I picked Justin Reed because he's like I've noticed in the past few games, he's made unbelievable open field solo tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's one of those guys preventing plays from being 10 to 12 yards going an extra 10, 15, 20 all the way down the field yards. Like he's that big last chance kind of guy, and he's been consistently living up to expectations at that position. So look for him to be stopping Christian McCaffrey once he starts running downhill past the O-line, and same thing with the other guys we mentioned, Ayuk and Samuel as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I went with kind of the opposite side. So I went with Chris Jones. Reason being, I think he's going to need to do a lot in the middle to make sure their run game is not effective. I think if you do make Brock Purdy throw the ball 40 times in this game, like if you shut down Christian McCaffrey, you shut down Debo on the run game, it makes things a lot easier for the rest of your defense to stop those explosive plays, because that's kind of the 49ers name of the game, is doing those explosive plays. So I think if Chris Jones is shutting down the run game on the inside, make them have to run laterally, that's really going to slow down the Niners a little bit. And then obviously if he's getting some pressure on Brock Purdy, he is only a sophomore quarterback. So, along with the pressure of being in the Super Bowl, actual pressure from Chris Jones, that's going to make him play not as well. So I went with Chris Jones.
True that. Yeah, I mean, pretty similar theme. I almost went with Chris Jones. I like both of your picks, but my pick in this situation is Mike Denal, who is I mean, I don't know if you guys know who he is, just a little bit of context, right? So their starting D end is out for this game. I think he tore his ACL or something along those lines.
Last game,
In
didn't
the
he?
last game. Yeah, 7 sacks this year, and he missed, I think that's in 11 games, something like that. In 10 games, 7 sacks. That's pretty damn good season. Pretty good, effective pass rusher. So Mike Denal, though, has 6.5 sacks on the season. So he's not a slouch either. But I guess my point is, against this Niners D line, I don't doubt that Chris Jones is going to get his. But here's the deal: is this is the best O line in the league. So what's going to happen? We'll have to see. But he needs to get pressure on top of everything to throw Brock off his center. Yeah, but that's who I have for defense on the Chiefs. I think we all think the secret X factor though is forcing Brock Purdy to shit his pants, more or less.
It's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's switch over to the other matchup. So Chiefs offense and the Niners defense.
So for the Kansas City, I don't know if he's going to be playing. I hope he is. But I'm gonna go for Isaiah Pacheco. I've been watching. You could say that I'm biased based off of the content I've been watching this week between Brock Purdy and Isaiah Pacheco. But I watched like a background video on Isaiah Pacheco and like what he's gone through in his life, and he lost his sister and his brother like violently when like before graduating college, and a lot of what he does now, charity work, and just like the work he does on the field is for his siblings. And I just, I got to see a little bit more about his character, and I just think he's one of, if not the hardest working guys on the field. And I think that's going to show and on the biggest stage where the lights are shining brightest at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Cam, what do you think?
Yeah. I have Isaiah Pacheco as well. Yeah, I mean, same reasons as what Colin said. I mean, one thing too that I want to point out, the Niners, you need to exploit them with the run. Detroit abandoned the run. You see these teams going away from their identity, and honestly, the Chiefs this year, this has been the best running offense they've had with Patrick Mahomes under center. So you need to commit to the run. You need to commit to Isaiah Pacheco, CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a change of pace back. And I think that's the way that they can win the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go with Travis Kelce. And reason why, I agree. Pacheco's really important to their offense as well. But I just think, putting plainly, if Travis Kelce has a bad game, they lose no matter what. I don't care how many receiving yards that Rashee Rice gets. I don't care how many rushing yards Pacheco gets. If Travis Kelce is playing poorly, they're going to lose because they are outmatched. They need their superstar as a receiving option to have a superstar game. And he usually shows up in these playoff games. So I think he will.
Spot on.
Yeah. All right. Defense side of the ball. I'll start for the 49ers. I went with Fred Warner again. So
okay, well, you took him.
I did. That's why I was saving first for this one. I got taken on my first pick. I was like, not letting it happen again. Yeah, I went with Fred Warner. Reason being, I do think they need both. The Chiefs are going to need to run the ball and they're going to need to pass the ball. I just think the Niners defense is too good for them to be able to just pass with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, granted, he's the best guy in the league to do that, but big part of his playoff arsenal is scrambling. He's great at scrambling. He's great at getting those first downs, going down the sidelines and then just tight roping and getting that first down. So they've got Nick Bosa. He's hopefully can contain him a little bit, but they also are going to need for Fred Warner to be able to guard some of those under routes that Travis Kelce eats on against a lot of teams in the gaps in the zone. They're going to need him to stop Pacheco. And yeah, I just think he's their X factor for defense.
It's a good one. I can go next. Yeah, pretty common theme for me too. I take Nick Bosa. I look at Nick Bosa and look, it's not just Nick Bosa, it's the whole D line. I mean, the kryptonite for Patrick Mahomes, period. I mean, hammer that man with pass rushers, and this is arguably the best team in the league to do it, you know? So, I guess you look on the other side of the ball for offensive, factors. I think offensive line for the Chiefs would have been another good choice, but I think Nick Bosa, Chase Young, all those guys are going to need to get some. Eric Armstead are going to need to get some significant pressure to disrupt him. Yeah, I mean, I think if they don't get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, I mean, did you see in the Ravens game that one throw where he had 10 seconds to scan the field before he threw it? Like,
outrageous, dude.
Yeah, insane. So the Chiefs O line's pretty solid. So, but I guess this is their biggest test all years. So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Fred Warner also, just for specifically what you mentioned, like preventing and stopping those short to mid-length plays from getting any longer. Underneath, like whether it's from Kansas City's backs or it's Kelce, he's the guy that they're going to have to get through up the middle to make plays. So if he's on his game there, I honestly, I think Kansas City could be limited to 3 scores.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we had some great picks there. So let's give our final predictions. Cam, who's winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I think the moment gets too big for Purdy this time. And I think it comes down to 27-24 with a late score to make it closer. That's my guess, 27-24. I mean, the defenses are too good for it to crack 30 for either of the teams, in my eyes. Yeah, and I just trust Mahomes more. That's my pick.
All right.
What about you, Jake? What do you think?
Okay. See, all week I've been sitting here and I'm like, because you guys know I picked the Chiefs over the Ravens last week. After I fell for the Bills. And I realized before last week's pick, I was like, the Ravens are the same team as the Bills. It's the same story, same dance every year. So I was going to pick the Chiefs, Cam. But when I was pulling up some Super Bowl trivia to prep for our next segment, I remembered that the Buccaneers beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl by like 3 scores, which I totally forgot about. I forgot Patty Mahomes is not invincible in the Super Bowl, and he's gotten blown out before. I'm going to go with the Niners. I mean, it's a huge what if on if Debo and Kittle and McCaffrey and Ayuk, if they pop off, but they have 4 people that could be the best player on most other teams' offense. Like you put any of those 4 on the Panthers, oh my God, they make the Panthers so much better. So, I forgot about that. Fuck it. I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking them. I'm going, I think it's going to be 34-24 Niners.
All right. I like that. I'm going to go with the whole reverse/mush pick because I want Kansas City to lose so bad. I'm going to choose them because most of the teams I've picked have ended up losing. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs purely because I want them to lose. I'm going to say that they win
2-0.
I think it's going to be 28. 28-23 Chiefs.
Fair.
Hoping to God that they get absolutely pummeled
Fuck them.
by Brock Purdy.
I have to pick the Chiefs because I fucking hate the Niners. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
I don't hate them as much as you do. You have every reason to hate them. So
division rivals, baby. Yeah.
and like I have every reason to hate the Chiefs. Same reason.
Exactly.
Fuck the Chiefs, dude.